This is a Kindle Fire, as much of you may know. This, believe it or not, is actually the longest living tablet in this house, whether I've got it from somebody else or we've just had it. Funnily enough, this is one we've had for years. I don't remember exactly when my sister got this, but she must have got this for her birthday a long time ago. We've had this tablet since, I don't know, maybe 2018 or 2017. But this is the last... Oh, a Challenger. This is the actual longest lasting tablet. Well, in terms of keeping a charge. I've talked about this tablet before, maybe once on this channel a long time ago. But here's my sister's first actual tablet. Well, her first ever tablet and my first ever tablet, I think, were Knobbies. And Knobbies sucked. They used proprietary junk, and it sucked. The charging port was getting worse and worse on this, so I stopped charging it. So I charged it to 100% one last time, which it still seems to be there, and I powered it off. Because there's something very wrong with the charging, or no, not charging port, sorry. There's something very wrong with the Wi-Fi antenna on this. I don't really know what's going on. Don't know whether it's because it's been powered off for so long and its clock is dead. See, it'll pick up the Wi-Fi networks every now and again, but when you try and reconnect, it doesn't work. Oh, and let me mention something. This is an old version of Fire OS. Look at this. Oh, yeah. I've actually found a way to just screen record videos off my phone and send it via Bluetooth. I'm going to turn the brightness down so I don't kill the battery. Oh. I forgot. I have to go through there. Let me... man. This is why I hate this, because some of the things that are moved around, I don't like it. It's right here. Here we go. This is actually the same tablet as mine. Or my old ones it is, which is the Fire HD7 5th generation. System updates. There you go. That's the last time it was updated. Let me zoom in. Oh, yeah. She's running 5.3.3.0. It's a pretty old nugget, huh? But, yeah, it's still got an okay battery in it. But, yeah, this thing has not been used in years because, as you can see there, March 2017, it got updated. So, my guess is that she got this, so... yeah, I must have had 2018 because I got my first HD10 in 2018. And usually I get a tablet before my sister. No, that time it was different. Well, she got a tablet before me, except she didn't get an she didn't get an HD8. I had an HD8 since 2017. Oh. Anyway, sorry about the rambling. It's just what I do. I'm like s'mores or s'mores. Anyway, but this thing, it still works, but major drawback is obviously the charging port, which be back. All right, I've got my good charging cord. So watch what happens when I plug it in. Absolutely nothing. Now, if I push up on it very hard. That's why I hate charging this thing. Oh, jeez. Yeah. And this is why I don't... this is why I don't have this thing turned on regularly. Because I don't want to have it in a specific setup. Oh, jeez. Oh, just... yeah. Anyone else who's had a Kindle like this, you'll know my troubles. Now, this thing actually got ruined because my sister a long time ago didn't know how to treat this thing. So she plugged in the charger wrong almost all the time, so that could also be the contribution for this issue. But in general, the charging ports did absolutely suck on these, because even though she took okay care of this, she stopped using this junk in 2020, I believe, though, no, 2019, because she got a new tablet, and in 2020, she had a phone. She only used her tablet for video calling. But yeah, this thing is also now having charging issues. But it's got a way better charging port. Because watch what happens if I do the same thing, but with a very good charger and in a specific position. Charging. If I bend the cord up, nothing. If I bend it down, charging. 1.2 amps. Yeah, it does fluctuate. You have to keep it in a specific position, but this one also works. There we go. I deleted most of the apps off of this because I just felt as though it no longer needed them. So I deleted most of the games she had except for Pocket Tanks, because that has her old account on there, which has her info. So I'm gonna keep that on there for a bit. But yeah, this has basically won the award for the longest lasting and still, well, kind of working tablet. But it's not really functional, so the award actually goes to this tablet because it's functional and its Wi-Fi antenna's not crap. Oh, and let me show you something I forgot to show you. I just love waking up and seeing the day be 2012. Yeah, I don't know. I actually powered this on my mom's birthday a long time ago. Back in, 2021? 2020? I think it was 2020, possibly. Let me think for a moment. Yeah, 2020, yep. So once that day hits again, it'll be... this thing will think it's 2013. But, I don't really think it's the date and time, because even though I tried this the first time, the battery's not holding a charge anymore. But when I tried this the first time, it's, it stopped working. And I think it's just because this thing's old. Oh, and let me also mention that the volume down button does not work. It does intermittently. If I touch it on this far end, it does. But if I touch it anywhere in the middle, yep, nothing. Volume up works just fine. So really, when I did first get this back to life in 2019, I pointed it at my TV to record stuff. Because funnily enough, this was my only tablet. This is the only one I had. Because this is actually one I got replacement from warranty. My original HD10 shattered. It broke. Kid at my old school, when I was in 5th grade, latchkey, got jealous and grabbed this and threw it because I wouldn't let him play on it. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. But this is the one from warranty, and yeah, it's lasted a long time. In fact, this year, it's going to be 4 years old. Now, if my original one I had, which I got for my birthday in 2018, that would have been 5 years old. And in fact, that was on my Google account for 4 months before the battery finally died. And funnily enough, I could look at the camera, because I had an app on there when I was testing out Alfred camera, which I've talked about before. And I could see the camera on there. It was so funny. But that killed it. When it opened the app by itself, and it killed the battery. And it had my Google account stuff on there. So, yeah. I don't really care, though, because the passcode on there is a passcode. And it doesn't matter since the screen was shattered anyway. So, how are they going to use it? But, yeah. This replacement has lasted a while. But I try not to use it that much. I usually really only use it every now and again for maybe playing some old games. Or some light web browsing every now and again. I mostly use it when it's time to kill the battery, when it's like the 25th. The 25th of days or months is the time I mostly kill my devices. in terms of battery, because it's good to let your batteries die at least once a month. But yeah, once I eventually, if I hopefully ever get a Samsung tablet that's good for Christmas this year, which I'm waiting to ask for, then I'm likely going to replace this and maybe sit it in a drawer and then charge it and kill the battery and let it die. Not saying that this is exactly bad, which I've also talked about this thing, but I don't have a feeling it's going to last very long because this has micro USB, and micro USB is not known for being well, and also we don't have many good micro USBs left. And the tablet that Mike got me, or my dad's friend as well, you can also call him that, it's okay, but I have noticed that it's installed like 2 bloatware apps, and they are now hidden from my app screen, and I can't find them. I found them in settings. Oh, and you better believe I hate this Google Entertainment Space thing. Eventually, if I get a computer or get my dad's computer, I'm going to de-bloat this thing and possibly put like Android 8 on it or something to get rid of that entertainment space. But funnily enough, this is the only tablet of mine now that's 10 inches and runs anything other than Android 5 or 6. Because the main reason I don't use this big chunky nugget is, well, yeah, I think you can tell. The screen sucks on it. Oh, and not to mention a tweeter of a speaker. I'm getting off track, but this video is about tablets, so who cares? It's kind of in the same story. This will charge, yes, but it's so difficult. This also runs Android 5, obviously. I could load files on this and I just said that. But, again, have to do that via that. Oh, and don't even ask me to use the micro SD slot. I tried that, but it only lets you go into the main files because the storage system on this sucks, so. But hey, there's one feature of it running an old operating system. Even though I have plenty of videos and stuff on this, it's still got 4 gigs. I wish my HC7's 5th generation, which is the same thing as that, except it's not pink. This is the exact same tablet. Let me unlock it. It's the exact same tablet. It's the exact same thing. Except this one actually works, and keep forgetting where it is because I'm so used to my newer ones. Yep, there it is. Fire HC7 5th generation. Exact same piece of junk. And what do you know? The charging port on this one is also going out. That's fun. Oh, and this HC7. This one's actually a 2019 model. Oh, wow, that's slow. That's even slower than the old ones. I have a bad feeling it's using the same processor. But yeah, this is the 2019 edition. But the screen, it's very good. But the battery sucks still. Actually, it's kind of worse than the other ones. And you betcha the charging port's also bad on this. Except it's not too bad. It's actually quite tolerable. And it's the same way with this. Charging port is actually better than that one. It's just this one's older and it charges a little slow. Now, here's the tablet Mr. Bisher gave me. I actually really try not to use this too much other than the days I need to kill the battery on it after every month. And here's one big reason. These things are kind of rare because they don't make these anymore. Like, mind you, this tablet came out in 2014. I would say the same thing about the HC7s, but I have like 4 of those old ones, 2 of which are broken. One of them that did turn on, but the screen was obliterated, so yeah. And it's the same model, would you believe that? Wow. But this I try not to use because, although it's okay. The speaker, woo! For a single speaker, it sounds great for what it is. My main gripe is the battery, and I don't want the battery on this to go bad. Unfortunately, ever since a couple months ago, I did start experiencing charging issues on this as well. Oh, and don't even get me started with the Play Store. It's awful. It's terrible. But the screen on this, for such an old tablet, if you look on it dead on, it's not noticeable on camera, but if you look at it dead on, it actually looks pretty well. So good that it looks almost like an OLED. Even this big chunky nugget doesn't look like that. The blacks don't get as black. But of course, you gotta love the companies using planned obsolescence. So yeah, there you go. There's just some of tablet history, I guess, in this house. Yeah, this battery is bad. Like, you run YouTube on this for like an hour, sorry, you're down to 30% already. Good luck. Oh, and although I like having the feature to plug in a freaking phone to this, I know what this is meant for. It's like a keyboard tablet that came out years ago. Blah, blah, blah. But this runs Android 6, and Google is so greedy, they were like, hey, let's make YouTube only available for Android 8. And while on the topic of tablets, kind of, even though I'm now going on to grudge about Google, this runs Android 8. This runs Android 8. And that also means that once Google decides to discontinue Android 8, after 2 years of that discontinuation, I'll no longer be able to watch YouTube on this. So my viable option is just NewPipe, because I'm not using the web browser. The web browser sucks. But this tablet will be one of the only ones left. And yeah, these Kindles run Android 9, but still, it sucks. But yeah, this will last me years if it doesn't break. It's a cheapo. It's the same as this, pretty much. It does have 2 gigs of RAM, though. That's something I was very confused about, because upon doing research on Android Go, which is what this runs, Android 11 Go, yeah, usually Android Go is on devices that have 16 gigs of storage or below, or 1 gigabyte. This is 2 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of storage. Dank pods, you should be ashamed of yourself. You got the laser garbage? Ew, you should have got this. Yeah, it's a cheap tablet, and it's thick for what it is, but man, it actually plays games pretty well. I was actually able to run the latest version of Minecraft on this. Yes, it's laggy, but it's on par with this tablet, which doesn't even have actually 2 gigs of RAM. It has like 1.7. And yeah, I know it's like calculated and rounding and whatever, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to talk about math. Blech, math sucks. But this actually only has genuinely 1.8 gigs of RAM, and this has 2 gigs. So, bleh. But yeah, same with this thing. It has 2 gigs of RAM, but it is running Android 8, not Go Edition. And it runs okay. It's actually not that slow at all. I was expecting it to be pretty dang slow. It is slower than the Kindles. Not on the UI. The UI is amazingly done, but the Kindles have a little bit more processing power, right? USB-C, micro, bleh. Camera on these, bad. Camera on this, good. It's like opposite worlds. I like this one better. It's just got the cleaner UI, less bloatware. Amazon. Oh, and it boots up faster. The hard drive is faster on that one. And that's the Galaxy Tab A8 first generation. I know there's a new one now, but this is the A8 first gen, or the SMT387V, I believe? I don't remember. I'm too lazy to look at it, but in terms of UI, yeah, this is slow, and I hate it. I also hate that button. In terms of UI, it's terrible. But in terms of processing power, when I did some testing, I did definitely notice a difference. They both have 2 gigs of RAM. They both have 32 gigs of storage. But this had 3 gigabytes more than what this had. Because this was taken up all by all the bloatware, and I don't have a computer to get rid of that bloatware. But yeah, it's faster in terms of gaming, but I don't care. I'll take a better UI and a faster interface. It feels faster because I don't really need to play high-power games on this. And I don't play the latest version of Minecraft anymore. Which, yeah, this is getting off the topic of tablets now, but recently I started feeling a lot of nostalgia for this version of Minecraft. Because me and my friends, it's so easy to run. It even runs on this chunky nugget. This, I don't know, 12-year-old Samsung tablet this thing is. Although, I actually stopped charging this. Or, stopped using this and charging this. And I don't want to kill it on the 25th anymore. Because proprietary charger. And yeah, a lot of people, even DankPod said that, oh, Samsung has 1 million proprietary connectors. Yeah, that was in like 2009 when they were making the old MP3 nuggets. But now they don't. They pretty much have everything on the latest model on USB-C. They have solar-powered TV remotes, which is cool. And yet Apple is still using the Lightning connector. So, if y'all are going to get mad at Samsung, including DankPods, if DankPods is going to get mad at Samsung for proprietary connectors, remember what Apple's still using. Oh, and remember that Apple doesn't have a DAC in the headphone jack. My mom's old Galaxy S8 can, I believe it can drive 30, 40 milliwatts. At least that's what I've heard. I'll have to do more research on it. I'm not an audiophile, so I'm not really into that stuff. I'm mostly into tech, but this uses a 30-pin, not the same one as the iPads. I don't have an actual one to test it, but when I tried plugging it into the iPad we do have, which is my parents' old one they don't use anymore for Square, it didn't work. And years ago, they lost the original charger for that iPad as well, so the only way it'll charge is from the charging cradle of the Square. Great. This is why we can't have nice things. Oh, and I know no one asked, but my sister lost her earbuds. Again. Great. She is so responsible with technology. She keeps nothing healthy. Which makes sense why, when I started deleting all the crap she installed on her tablets, they ran better. We still have that one tablet she broke years ago. It works, it's shattered. But yeah. That's kind of my ramble and giant rambling video central on tablets. And I don't really have a charger for this anymore because the charger that does work, it didn't break on the outside, but on the inside something must have happened because now it shows a red X when charging it. I've tried cleaning it. I've tried blowing into it, restarting the tablet. I have another charger for it, and it works okay. It's not as fast as the original. But once that one breaks, which is showing the signs, that tablet's basically useless. So, yeah. But speaking of Samsung tablets, on Monday, one of my friends is actually bringing me 2 tablets. One to keep and one to try and fix. So, I'll make a video on that. But, yeah, I just wanted to make a video on this tablet to kind of commemorate it because I'm worried that at one point it's probably going to stop working.